Everybody, I am so glad that you all are taking part in this wonderful discussion to celebrate student voice in the classroom. And you all have had the chance to read some wonderful books, and hopefully you all will be able to discuss how those books have made you feel and enlightening us a little bit about your voice. So let's start off with the characters from The Skin I'm In and Long Way Down. How do you relate to Malika and William?
I relate to Malika because I'm tall and I'm on the more chocolate, darker side of my skin tone. And I feel like we can all relate to the main character in some way, shape, or form, because the main character is supposed to reflect something that we've all gone through and how she goes throughout the book and how she finds herself. I feel like I've sort of found myself in that way, and a lot of the things that she's gone through, I've gone through as well. So I feel like it really touched me personally reading the book, and it made me feel something.
Well, I can relate to William. Well, I know how he feels. Like, his brother died, and he was right there, and he watched him die. So I could tell that was a hard feeling, because when I lost somebody in my family, it was a hard time for me to get over that.
Well, I'm inspired by Martin Luther King because I had a fight mentality. If somebody would hit me, or not hit me, but physically say bad words to me or something like that, I would want to fight them and get back at them. And the Martin Luther King, he opened my mind because he was more equal in peace. So now I can think and reflect on him when I'm feeling all those types of emotions.
I'm inspired by Will because honestly, I would probably do the same things he did in the book, besides get revenge, because I don't like really physically hurting other people and stuff like that. So that's why he inspires me.
The Skin I'm In, I like that book because it was a girl trying to get to school, in middle school, yeah. And it was just interesting to read and just watch how she grew through the book. And then at the end of the book, it was just she was a whole new person.
I felt empathy for William because he watched his brother die, and then he had to redeem himself from not killing the killer, because then he was gonna die.
Was there a difference between Will and Martin in terms of how they dealt with things, do you think?
Martin Luther King, he wanted to solve problems in a peaceful way, but the rule that Will comes from, that violence is always the answer where he comes from, revenge and stuff like that.
The difference between Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. Malcolm X wanted to fight negative energy with negative energy. He thought if we all did what our oppressors did to us, then that would make everything better. But Martin Luther King Jr. thought if we give love to them and if we spread peace, that will make everything better.
Have these characters given you a way to rise above, or even think about some of the poems, thinking of Martin and Martin rising?
Yeah, the poem says, "Love your enemies." I picked that as my favorite poem because even though they give you disrespect and treat you bad, you should always treat others with respect.
And you think pretty much that's kind of what Will was struggling with and Malika was struggling with?
I feel like Will, he wanted to be peaceful, but it was the rules. He had to follow what his dad taught his brother and what his brother taught him.
What changes are okay to make, or should there be changes that need to be changed, that need permission to change, or that come down from generation to generation?
Well, you know how people say snitches get stitches?
Yes.
I think that needs to change because it's stopping people from doing the good things and making them like keep going to the bad stuff.
Somebody else?
Like if they see somebody doing something wrong, like if they see somebody getting bullied, they'll just be like, oh well, they're getting bullied, it's not me. I'm just gonna keep walking on like I never saw it.
Don't be a bystander, right? Martell really started this discussion about it, but have you lost someone due to violence, and what were you feeling? We'll start with Janai.
So, I witnessed my 17-year-old cousin get shot at the playground, and he passed away. And at the time, I was just nervous. I was freaking out. I was screaming. I was crying. I had blood all over my shirt. And it's just, after that day, I didn't know what to do. I was just upstairs in my room the whole day. Didn't know what to do, or I didn't eat. I didn't do nothing.
I'm in tears just to even hear your story. That is a very traumatic event, and my condolences for your loss. What would you say to someone who may have gone through something similar? Like, what would you say to Will? That's for everybody. Anyone, if you've ever lost someone, or whether it be violence or anything like that, what do you think the average person needs?
Someone to talk to.
Comfort.
Yeah.
Comfort, someone to talk to.
Someone that will let them just let all their emotions out.
I think a lot of times you guys are just told, be quiet, don't talk, be quiet, don't talk. But now that you actually have a chance to speak, sometimes that can be overwhelming, and you don't want to get in trouble, but in the same breath, you have all this that's going on in your head. Do you think the characters, like, they were fighting their own battles and trying to figure out who they were? And I'm glad that you all are being able to find them and having that outlet to be yourselves. Speaking of yourselves, and we'll make reference to the skin I'm in, how do you feel in your skin? What do you celebrate about your skin, and why is it important to be in your skin?
I feel good, and I don't really know how to explain it. And it's like everybody's beautiful the way they are, no matter what they look like.
Well, I like to be what my skin color is because it reflects on what happened to my skin color people in the past, and I just like to have that history.
I feel like you just have, whenever you look in the mirror, you have to know that that's the way you were made, and you can do all the altering you want to. You can spend all your money on different solutions, but it'll never change how you were born. It'll never change how you were originally made and how you came out. And compliments, they make you feel good, but I feel like personally, I don't need compliments to know that I'm okay with who I am.
Do you feel as though you've kind of got it good in celebrating who you are? You've been set up to celebrate you? Or do you think you've been set up to, I know Brooklyn had mentioned, systems behind colorism. Does that affect you? Light skin, dark skin,
Definitely.
Okay, tell me more.
Colorism is the societal structure of putting one above another because of the color of their skin rather than who they are as a person. And we're made to feel like if we look like our ancestors, the color of our skin, that's not okay. The more darker you are, the less value we're made to feel. That's why there's so many skin bleaching products. That's why people change their afro features, the features that your ancestors gave you. You change those because that's what they thought was okay. So now we think that's okay, and we need to change that. We're slowly working on it, but I feel like it could be better. And I'm glad that we live in a time where we're coming into ourselves and we're loving how we were made, because no matter how much you change it, you can't fix how you were made to be. The way you came out is how you were made to be. And you just have to move on from that, and you just have to know that how you were made, you're beautiful. everyone is beautiful, and if you weren't, you wouldn't be here.
I know, Derek, you had brought up about loving your enemy. But how about that? Explain a little bit more. So, Brooklyn, when you say, be equal, everyone's beautiful in their own skin, what about loving your enemy? Talk about that. Martell, loving your enemy, what does that mean to you and for you to do?
Well, to me, like, say if, like, in school, there's a bully, you have a bully, like, even though, like, they treat you some type of way, you should still treat somebody who treats you in a mean way, like, with respect, because something good can always happen to you, and, like, for your good deeds that you do. And at the end of the day, I know who I am. And I know that, like, what people say, like, everything people say isn't true, so you just have to, like, walk on and, like, get over it.
Like, just continue, like, even though that thing brought you down, you just have to get back up and, like, continue on.
You just gotta stay strong, have a strong mindset through it all.
Malika, her at the end of the story, after everything, all of the mental manipulation that Charlize put her through, she said, "Call me by my name." And that really resonated with me. And I feel like Miss Saunders, she put Malika under her wing and made her feel like, we're outcasts and people make us feel inferior because of our looks. But we have strength and we have courage and we have power, and we wear that medal on our chest. And I feel like when I finished the book, I gained a medal. Not because I finished the book, but because a lot of the things that she went through, I went through as well. People just love to say negative things about you, and they love to make you feel like you're something you're not. And Charlize will always call Malika this name, call Malika that name. John McIntyre will always say that she had tar skin, stuff like that. And I feel like people have said things, negative things like that to me. And whenever I was reading this, everything that people have put me through, people have made me feel, those couple words, I put that on Call Me By My Name. Don't call me ugly. Don't say I look like this. Don't say I look like that. Call me by my name. My name is Brooklyn, and I know who I am, and I feel like at the end of the story, Malika found who she was. And if Miss Saunders is a real person, I would love to meet her because, yeah.
Thank you. You all did a wonderful job. I'm so